ẹ̀jẹ̀ mi f'Olúwa.
Ayérayé ẹ ṣé o bàbá àgbà o.
Wọ́n fi ijó sọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ mi f'Olúwa.
Ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́rẹ̀ tó rà dìde fún ìrànwọ́ mi o. Gbọ́n kọrin bí ọwọ́ yẹn sókè ilé ìjókòó.
Òré tí bàbá ṣe.
Ekiti Television, taking you further.
All right, good evening. It's actually evening, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to your favorite program, Enterprise 101 with Tope Pokuola, your life coach and senior pastor of the Business Church. Now, for some time I've been speaking about some laws that govern success. Today I just want to come in from, a little different dimension, even though still talking about principles that govern success, financial independence, business success, career success. And today I'm going to be looking at why people are poor. Some people think, well, poverty is a curse. Yes, if you read the Bible, you would have read about the curse of poverty. But even when you say something is a curse, I'd like to submit to you also that a curse can be broken. There are certain things that can be done to break a curse. And there are certain things that you do that make sure that even if somebody sends a curse after you, the curse will not work in your life. That's why the Bible makes us understand that without a cause, the curse cannot operate. So this is very important. Today I'm going to be looking at a few things that make people poor. Now hear me. Anybody can be broke. The richest man in the world will have times in his life when there will be a shortage of fluidity, when he may not have enough cash assets. So there's that possibility. So I'm not talking about why you're broke. I'm talking about why people are poor. Poverty is a thing of the mind. Broke is a state of the account. So a man may be broke, but it doesn't mean he's poor. If you see a man who is broke, who has the mentality of abundance, the mindset of abundance, he will soon get out of being broke and he will produce resources. Okay? It doesn't take resources to generate resources or to generate money as much as it takes resourcefulness. Resourcefulness has to do with your capacity to manage resources, no matter how small the resources may be. Some people will tell you immediate answer. Why are you the way you are? Why are you poor? They'll say, I don't have a helper, I don't have money, he's always thinking about what they have. But ask them to focus on themselves and look at what they have. Alright, they're focusing on what they don't have rather, but instead of focusing on what they have not used what they have because they don't realize that inside what they have is buried what they need. Now, that's a subject for another day. The first reason why people are poor is the inability to constantly create value or solve problems for other people. When you see people who find it difficult to solve problems, or who find it difficult to go out of their way to create value, people like that will only do what they are paid to do. They don't go the extra mile. They don't see the reason why, if they see a problem that somebody else caused, they don't want to, people like that don't want to touch that problem. They don't want to solve it. They say, well, it's not my job. It's not this, it's not that. Most of the time, they bypass opportunities, and I'm going to come to that in a moment. They bypass opportunities to solve problems for people. Let me say this to you. Whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, money lives inside problems. I'll say that again. Money lives inside problems. So if you really want to be significantly successful in life, start looking at your environment. Start looking at the kind of problem you can solve. And let me say this. If you are known as the first person to solve a particular problem in a particular significant, in a particularly significant way in an environment, you are going to be the first person to make money in that environment. Now, when there is an immediate problem, people are looking for solutions. And a lot of people are familiar with the problems, but very few people would actually go out of their way to do something to solve the problem. Most people will not lift a finger. They will simply complain like everybody else. And let me tell you, everybody can complain, but I've never seen complaints increase the value of your bank account or the balance of your bank account. If you know anybody who has increased or enhanced the value or the balance of his bank account by complaining, please, I would like to meet such a person. The people who enhance their bank balance are people who constantly create solutions to problems. So the first thing is your inability to create a value, to add a value, or to solve a problem. The second reason why people are poor. Now you will be able to relate with this as I'm talking, with these things as I'm talking about them, and when you understand them and you are able to do the needful to correct some of these things, you will discover over a period of time, and not too long a time too, you are going to discover an improvement, an enhancement in your financial capacity. Number two, inability to connect value. Now some people can create value, but they don't have the capacity to connect the value or the solution to the people who have the problem. Okay? It's like somebody saying, I have the cure for HIV. Now, as of today, if there is anybody who comes up with a cure for HIV or COVID-19, I'm telling you that person, and it's confirmed that it's a cure, and the efficacy is not in doubt, that person is an immediate, and I'm talking about is an immediate billionaire, potentially speaking. However, if that person is not able, if he just uses it for members of his family and is not able to connect it to other people who may have that problem, maybe government agencies, or is not able to carry out necessary tests, all right, to confirm the efficacy of that thing, he will be sitting on a gold mine, but he will not have the gold mine. Today, quite a number of pharmaceutical companies have rolled out vaccines, and those vaccines are being sold in the millions. You know, the doses are being sold in the millions. I can tell you that some of those companies, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, which other one? Quite a number of them. They are smiling to the bank right now because they came in at a critical point in the history of mankind and they're solving a significant human problem. Number three is the inability to communicate the value. Now, I've come across people a lot of times who, let me be more specific. Recently, a couple of days back, a foundation that I serve on their board invited people, who are young entrepreneurs for an interview. There was a selection interview, and the aim was to be able to give a grant to some, not loan, it was supposed to be a grant to some of these, young, up-and-coming business people, below a certain age bracket. And so we had quite a number of applications, about 200 applications, 200 plus applications. Now, we were to prune down to a particular figure. Now, each time we ask the people, what is, most of the time rather, not all, quite a number of them were quite articulate, they were specific, they knew exactly what they wanted, they knew what they wanted the money for. But a whole number of them, you ask them, what do you want this money for? If you get this money, what are you going to apply it to in the business that you're already doing? And the answer would be, I want to use it to boost the business. I want to use it to expand the business. So, anybody knows that. That's the only reason why you came for this interview. It's because you want money to boost the business. But in which way? What is the value that you intend to use this money to add to the business? And many of them were not able to articulate that. And when you're not able to do that, you give the person who wants to give you money an impression that you're just looking for money to spend on frivolities. Okay? Because now we cannot trace how you're going to spend the money. If you said you needed machinery, okay? Now, and we give you that grant for the particular machine that you need. How are we sure that you will invest on that particular machine if you have never been specific about it? Specificity is the process by which you are able to communicate value created. You must be able to articulate your value proposition so intelligently in such a way that you leave nobody in doubt about what exactly you want to accomplish. Now, nobody is going to tell your story better than yourself. Nobody knows your need better than yourself. You can't just expect that by saying that I will be able to understand what you're saying. No, I don't live in your business. I don't do your business. I don't live in your life. So you must know how to define exactly what you want to accomplish. Number 4, if you are an unrepentant consumer of value rather than a creator of value, you can never become wealthy. It's not a curse, it is a law. If you're somebody who is always consuming, listen, one of the reasons why Nigeria as a nation is where we are today is because we are a consumer nation. We're a consumer nation. Most of the big industries, I was sharing with a company of young people just in the course of last week, and I was saying to them, what happens to the Dunlops in Nigeria? What happens to Michelin? What happens to the rubber processing industries? What happened to the textiles? What happened to the various things that we used to produce? What happened to the groundnut pyramids? What happened to the cocoa processing factories? What happened to a whole lot of things that produce value? And at a point in time, and I remember in 1977 when I was going to travel to, I was going on a trip to Canada in 1977. The rate of exchange to the dollar at that time was 60 kobo. I didn't say 60 naira. It was 60 kobo to the dollar. It was not even, a dollar was not even up to a naira. Nigeria was a productive economy. We had agriculture. We had so many other things, and we didn't have, we had oil, but oil had not spoiled us like this, So we stopped being a producing nation and with very little to offer the rest of the world. So what does the rest of the world do? They come here, they buy our raw materials, no process no processing done, no value added, and we just ship whole, raw materials wholesale abroad. Listen, I don't care for how long raw materials are exploited from the soil of any nation. If that's the only thing that is being exploited and sold, that nation will be bankrupt. No nation thrives by selling raw materials alone. You thrive by value addition. You thrive by human capital. Developing your human capital to add value. While we're talking about, non-functional refineries in Nigeria, there are people who have even gone beyond refineries. People are already talking about electric cars that will not need, petrol or any of the fossil fuels to drive. But beyond that, a company in Japan has already come up with a vehicle that runs purely on water. It's amazing. So that means that before you can blink, before you bat an eyelid, electric cars will no longer be in fashion. Cars will now be running on water. I remember that advert by PHB several years back. When it says, that the time is coming when cars will run on water. Well, the time is here. And if you don't understand that, you just be a consumer of value. Look at us in Nigeria today. There is hardly any brand of car that is manufactured from any factory in the world today that by the end of the week, you will not find a model of it on our streets. We just like to consume and consume and consume. And any nation that runs on consumption will always be broke. It will be poor. And it does not matter how many raw materials you have in the soil. Alright? So if you are a consumer and you are not a producer of value, you'll be forever indebted to the producer of the value that you are consuming. And the problem with that is this. The person who is a consumer of the value is the one who will now, or rather the person who is producing value or adding value to your consumption pattern is the one who determines the price. Let me explain. We sell crude oil, but we don't have a say whatsoever in the price of crude oil in the market. We sell cocoa, we don't have a say in the price of cocoa in the market. We sell, gold. We sell all of these things. We don't have a say in how much these things go for in the international market. And yet, we'll call you maybe first the biggest producer or the second largest producer or third largest producer, and at the end of the day you are still not consulted when prices are being fixed. So this is critical. This is very crucial. If you must understand that. If you want to be rich, you want to be successful significantly, become a creator of value. Know something, find something that you can do, a problem you can solve. Number 5, this is very close to number 4, being part of the problem instead of the solution. There are some people, when they wake up in the morning, all they're thinking about is problem. When they go out and the sun is hot, oh, why is the sun so hot? Oh, look at this sun. Look at this sun. Oh, this sun can kill somebody. This sun can kill somebody. If it's rain, oh, look at this rain. It has not been up everywhere. They complain about the weather. They complain about government. They complain about their spouse. They complain about their house. They complain about everything under the sun. Give them food. If it is rich food, sumptuous food, they say, it's too much now, you want to kill me. If it's not enough, they will complain, say, I'm not a baby now. Even a baby, this one cannot fill up the stomach of a baby. Stop already. Stop being problem focused. Always think solution. Another thing that I want to add to that is this. If you constantly think shortage, you will be poor. It does not matter in which environment you find yourself. If your thoughts are thoughts of lack, I don't have, I can't afford, I can't give, I can't do. It is always about negativity. You can never never ever, become successful. And I'm going to amplify on that again if I have time in the next few minutes. Now, number 6 is when you don't utilize opportunities properly. Now, I have on this program on several occasions defined poor, P-O-O-R, as people overlooking opportunities repeatedly. People overlooking opportunities repeatedly. Life will give the rich man and the poor man one thing: opportunities. What the rich man becomes and what the poor man becomes is a function of how they use the opportunities that they have. Some of the opportunities that the poor man will complain about are the same opportunities that a rich man will take advantage of and he will make business from. So you have to start thinking differently. Change your mind, change your mindset, change your thinking, and you will change your outcomes. If you can change your thinking, you will change your outcomes. Look at opportunities. I remember several years ago, one of my biggest business breaks came as a result of an opportunity that I had. There was an organization I was working with, and there was a foreign group that needed some products related to what the organization was doing, but the organization was not in a position to supply it because they didn't have the capacity. And you know what I did? I saw the opportunity immediately. All right? Now, after my organization had written to them to say that they were not in a position to supply what they wanted, I simply did a letter because I knew where to get what they were looking for. And I was ready to get the information and send the products to them. And I just offered to do that. I said, well, you see, we can do this for you, because we learned that you consulted this organization, they were not able to do it, so we are able to supply that. And guess what? I was able to meet their demand, and that was my first time of making money in foreign exchange. By the time I did that business, by about 3 or 4 orders, I had enough money to buy a car. So it was opportunity. When opportunity steps your way, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? Now, and number 7, one thing you will notice with rich people, when you offer a rich man something to buy, he is not thinking about cost, he's thinking of value. The poor man is always thinking cost. They say, okay, come for this training program. It's going to cost you 10,000. The price is 10,000. And instead of thinking of the value that you are going to get, that 10,000 that you spend on going for that training may give you information and knowledge that can make you a multi-millionaire several times over. But instead of looking at the value of the training, you're looking at the cost of the training. And you're looking at, what will they teach me there? What are they going to be talking about? Is it not this? Is it not this? Well, if you knew it, why is it not reflecting in your life? What are they going to teach me that I cannot learn on the internet? Well, you have always had the internet, and yet you don't know it. And even if you know it, it's not reflecting in your life. So you need to be trained. If you see people who are always thinking cost, when they say this thing is how much, you ask yourself, is this much? You ask yourself, do I need it? That's the real question you should be asking yourself. Do I need it? Is it relevant to where I am right now? And truth of the matter, I have found out always, almost always, if you are convinced that you need it somehow, God will always find a way for you to make it happen. But if you don't understand the value and you are thinking of the cost, the moment you say, I cannot afford it, you have foreclosed every possibility of ever getting it. Okay? Number 8. When you despise the success of other people, you can never become like them. If you look at successful people and you envy them and you despise them and you talk evil of people who are doing well without understanding the source of a man's wealth, you're already criticizing him, you're already concluding that he must have stolen money, you're already concluding that he did not do this right. Okay, mister, you know how to do it right. Why are you still poor? This is the problem. Now, I am aware of the fact that there are fraudulent people. I'm aware of the fact that there are people who do under the table deals. I'm aware of the fact that there are people with criminal outcomes. Criminal processes rather, to produce, many outcomes. I'm aware of that. But until you know that this is what this person has done, you do not despise people. God still blesses people legitimately. God still makes people succeed legitimately. Alright? Now, one more thing that I'd like to say before I go today. It is simply this. You will be poor if you constantly look down on other people. Sometimes wealth is hidden inside people you least expect. They may have information, they may have information to resources that they themselves don't know how to manage. I was listening to the story of one of Nigeria's most successful people, and the guy is very comfortably rich. And I was listening to his story today, and I saw that he started making money by treating people well in the area. And it was one of the people you call riffraffs, area boys, some of the people you despise. You just tell them to get out of the way. They get out, they don't come. That introduced him to a family that had several plots of land to sell, about 400 plots of land to sell. And the family now said, can you sell this land for us? You are well read, you know people. Can you sell the land for us? And this is how much we are taking. Whatever you sell for, that's your own profit. And the man made millions, hundreds of millions out of that transaction. Now, never despise people on your way to the top. You never know where God can bury your treasure. You need to be sensitive, be alert to your environment. Well, this is as much as I can go today. This is as much as time will permit me. We'll take it up from there again next week, same time, same station. And until then, just keep it a day with us. When it's Sunday, same time, same station, as I said, I'll be seeing you. And until then, this is my name. This is Tokpek Bukbola, your life coach, the Maverick, and senior pastor of the Business Church, saying, remember, the sky is not your limit. God is.